Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 7:01 PM. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have an amended, what? Ask for it and I'll make it. Oh, okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda with the deletion of number 7, city administrator report as presented by staff.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 The agenda is approved as presented. City Administrator Ron Harding is excused this evening, and so is Councilor Caceres. Moving on to number 2, presentations, proclamations, and visitors. Is there anyone online?
Scott Lee is online.
No, I'm visitors.
No visitors.
No.
Councilor Lee online.
Okay. There's no public comments. We have nobody in the seating area. No visitors. Moving on to number 3, the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 The consent agenda is approved. Moving on to number 4, public hearings. There is no public hearings tonight. Moving on to number 5, old business. There is no old business. Moving on, number 6, new business. TMG hydrochloric generator replacement. Staff report.
All right, Matt Etzel, Assistant Public Works Director. Before you, you'll see a staff report and a proposal from TMG Services for a new chlorine generator. Our chlorine generator at our water plant is aging, and the last time we took it apart for service, we had a few minor pieces that we needed to fix, and when we contacted the manufacturer, they told us they're no longer available. And all you can get is used parts now. And the parts that they have on the shelf are from units that they pulled out of service. So we got a couple used parts, but we kind of decided it's time to go ahead and purchase a new unit. This is the same chlorine generator that we recently bought for the wastewater plant. So the parts are interchangeable. So that's a benefit to the city, to have some spare parts on hand, in case of emergency. I think that's pretty much it. Some other cities will buy chlorine in bulk, but in recent years, there's been a shortage of chlorine at different times. And so cities have had to ration or try to figure out another solution. And by creating it on site, all we have to have is electricity and water and salt. And so it's a pretty simple process. And these new units are a lot smaller and a lot easier to maintain. So it's a good thing and it's time. We will pay for this out of the water M&R line. You will see after we purchase this that we will have overspent the water M&R fund, but the overall water budget is in good order, and we're good and under budget there for the overall water budget. So just how it kind of works out that we will overspend the M&R line, but the water budget's fine. So any questions?
I don't have any questions. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the TMG proposal for the installation and purchase of one Wallace and Tiernan OSEC hypochlorite generator for $47,503 as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Moving on to 6B, patrol vehicle contract.
Kirsty Pizzuto, Assistant City Administrator. We talked about this in September. We initially, I think you guys moved to approve it so that PD could make the decision on their own. We didn't say a dollar amount in that motion, so that's why we're bringing it back to you just to make sure we covered our bases. So September 2022, initially, it was passed to be done through, I think it was the Ford Interceptors. Yeah. And then obviously those stopped being produced. So now we're going on to different vehicles. We're using Robertson motors for a couple of Dodge Durangos. Those have finally been assigned some VINs. So you'll see those in your packets with the vehicle purchase agreements. So they're each $43,596.20, bringing it to a total of $87,192.40. And that will come from the vehicle replacement fund for police specifically, so it won't be bleeding over into any other funds. And I think that pretty much covers it. We're just wanting to make sure that we cover the bases to approve the whole purchase agreement. Happy to answer any questions.
I have no questions. Anyone? Is there a motion?
I move to authorize the city to purchase 2 new police vehicles in the amount of $87,000 from Roberson's Motors as presented by staff.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So there is no city administrator report. The state of the city is being postponed. Moving on to number 8, mayor and councilor reports. I can't talk tonight, guys, sorry.
I will let you know that at our SCATS meeting tomorrow, a letter that Ron sent regarding whether they move to a weighted vote or leave it as 1 vote per city represented or county or agency. Why we believe that that's not fair to us or other small cities. And that will be presented at our meeting tomorrow, so that you're aware of that.
And just so you guys know, that letter came after finding out that one of the cities wants to have another vote after adding us to the meeting
So they want to do it before.
before. And
They're holding us hostage.
so after talking with Della and Ron, we decided to submit a letter saying why we were not in agreement with that. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
I did attend the local public safety coordinating council. Salem had hired a gun violence study.
Mhm.
Have a copy of that if anybody wants to see it. Just limited to Salem at this point, but apparently they are contracting with this research. Right now, it's just Salem, so if anybody wants to see.
Yeah.
And then they also, gave us a local, I guess that is also, that group is kind of the de facto criminal justice advisory council. They're experiencing based on criminal attorney shortage. 150 criminal charges that are out there just waiting to have an attorney assigned to them. Quite interesting.
I'd heard they had a shortage of them.
I guess there's not a shortage of attorneys per se, but the legislature, I guess, created a rule that said an attorney could only represent so many clients. And at one point, they were just taking on all the clients that they could. And now there's a limit on it. So
Thereby creating a shortage.
yeah.
I would be interested in the safety report. I think that's interesting stuff.
It is quite interesting. There's, they included some really pretty, some crime maps and. I'll give it to Chris. Does anybody else want a copy of it?
LOC sent out an email letting people know that the spring conference registration will open up on January 25th. I did not attend last spring, but I attended the year before. If any of you guys haven't attended an LLC conference, I encourage you. There's a lot of great training opportunities. The spring one is smaller. It's going to be in Klamath Falls. We try to go as a group to the larger one in October. But if for some reason we do have funds for trainings, these trainings, I have learned a lot from them. So if you guys have the means and the time, reach out to city staff and attend.
Was it different enough from the other one that it would be a benefit?
You would probably want to read the agenda and see what they're teaching on to decide that.
Yeah, they
Because
have an outline up already.
Oh, they do, okay.
Yeah.
But I would be interested to go if there's something different.
Checking the agenda is the best way to tell and see. So, I mean, this last
Okay.
one we went to in spring was so much different than the other ones I've been to. It was nice to have new content. Because the years before it was just like repeat.
Repeat.
And part of that was because of COVID, but it's still,
Heard from a lot of people is. Actually get a lot more questions and answers.
well, part of that's because they also did more breakouts.
Yeah.
The breakouts were smaller by design,
Because even the
Yeah.
breakouts, they're really big.
So
not compared to what they've been in past years.
the spring conference is actually smaller. It's actually designed to reach the rural communities who can't come to the bigger one. The sessions that I attended, not last year, but the year before, were different from the fall session. I found them to be beneficial. And if you guys do go, let me know and I will try to adjust my schedule to go and be supportive of you guys. And I think it's at the flying well. The resort, I forgot the name of the resort down there.
Something.
Yeah, find something. Okay. Is there anything for good of the order? We do have one correspondence. We have a thank you letter from the Aumsville Historical Society. It is in your packet if you wish to read it. We have no executive session tonight, so we can go ahead and call the meeting. Adjourn the meeting at 7:14.